Everyone, and welcome to another exciting and insightful edition of Reading Room. This program comes to you live on Freedom Square TV, and on this program we explore the importance of books, reading culture, and intellectual growth. Okay, so that's all we usually discuss every time you watch us live on this program. My name is Lilian, Ezinwa, and today promises to be interesting, and that's because of our topic for today. Today we'll be discussing this very important and interesting topic, which is the role of books in mental growth. The role of books in mental growth. And as always, we'll have an interesting guest joining us today. Books are more than just pages filled with words. They are sources of knowledge, imagination, wisdom, creativity, and personal transformation. Reading helps us understand ourselves better and also helps us understand the world around us. Mental growth, on the other hand, is not just about academic success. It also involves emotional intelligence, critical thinking, creativity, confidence, and the ability to make wise decisions. Okay, so that's what mental growth is all about. I'll be looking at it as regards to the role of books in making sure that your mental growth, you have mental growth, right? So I need you to stay tuned and do not fast forward. Okay, just take it. We're going to take it one step at a time. And joining me today to discuss this enlightening topic is Faithful Chidera Chinedu. Faithful, good afternoon, good morning, good evening. How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
Okay, so good to have you here today.
Yeah, I'm very
so let's start. Who is Faithful? Let's start with you. Who is
interesting?
Okay, so can you tell us about where you work, what you do basically, and the fact that you work in a bookstore?
Yes.
And so has been the journey for you so far in the creative space?
It has been very interesting. It's a learning process. To be a true creative, you have to be a learner. So I've been soaking everything in so far.
So has been the journey? Good, bad, ugly?
Everything. It comes in all packages. Sometimes you try a new thing that leads you down a rabbit hole, and you come out of it and you have a lesson to learn from there, and that has been the experience for me.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing that with us first. Okay, so what comes to your mind when you hear the phrase mental growth, and how do books actually contribute to it?
What comes to my mind when I hear the word mental growth is mind, having power and agency over your mind. And how books contribute to that is they give you permission to think outside the box you have put yourself in. They give you permission they challenge you in a way, and the mind needs that challenge at every point in time. A man who stops reading at some point because we're adults, we're no more children, he enters this state of stagnancy mentally, because nothing is pushing you, because you've grown into these beliefs and nothing is changing that for you. Books do that. Books challenge your mind. Books force you to question your thoughts. I'm thinking this way, I believe in this, I believe in that. Why do I believe in these things? And that is what books contribute to mental health.
Okay, now you've talked about how books contribute to mental health, and one of the things I know is that book exposes people to different ideas, going from what you've said to different cultures, different experiences, and ways of thinking. And that will bring me to my next question. So how does reading books now help people expand their knowledge and understanding of life?
Okay, there are some books that I have read in the past that are written by people who believe in other kinds of spirituality, and I am a Christian. And I'll read those books and I'll be like, oh, so this is this person's thought process. And I know nothing about that. And it will open my mind to, okay, this is how people see these things. You know, there are some books that are written by people who have mental health disorders.
Yeah.
And I'll read them, I'll be like, oh, this is this person's mind, this is this person's thought process. There's some books about dream count, Chimamanda's dream count. There's this character Khadijat. She grows up in Guinea and she suffers mutilation. I don't know anything about these things, but I learned these things through books, because we on our own, we are restricted to our physical space. Books widens the horizon for you. You can go to different countries in one sitting with a book. And it's almost magical. And then you can be in a conversation and explain something to someone that, oh, in so country, and person is, have you been there? I read it in a book. And that is what books do to people.
Interesting. I like the fact that you said books, you can be in a particular place and you can tell somebody what's happening in another country or in the life of someone else, and the person will be imagining, do you know these people? And you're like, no, but I've read their story. So I can actually tell you the way they think because you've read their story.
Okay, so I feel like parents have a great responsibility to their children to provide them with quality literature. Sometimes I feel like most Nigerian parents leave all the work to the hands of the teachers. And they feel like, oh, the teacher, everything knowledge is in the hand of the teacher. No, it doesn't end with the teacher. You put your hands together. My parents did it unconsciously. They left around great books around for me, and in my free time I will pick them up out of curiosity. But for many other parents, I think it should be a thing they are doing consciously, intentionally. They are looking into it like, oh, I need you to understand this kind of thing, for you to, like, when you grow up, you see how the world works with different eyes.
Okay. Now, apart from academics, books can also influence emotions, from the examples that you've shared, and character as well. So can reading books actually help people become more emotionally mature and self-aware? Because there's a lot of things happening, and when you read these stories, you begin to wonder that, okay, how can this person act in this manner? This person is above 30, is above 40. The person ought to be matured. My opinion is actually different. I feel that maturity is not about age, but for some persons, they feel as you get older, you're supposed to be mature. I don't know if you agree with that. And as well, as you read, like now you were sharing with us, you read a book by Miles Monroe at secondary school age, and for some people who are adults in university, even out of university, they've not read a book from Miles Monroe or any other book apart from the Things Fall Apart, other small books with Chike and Adas, all those kind of books. So do you think that reading books can actually help people become more emotionally mature?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I think in our current time and age, we don't have patience. We don't have a lot of patience for anything, anybody. And the excuse is that the economy, the political climate does not give you space for that. I think with books, not only does it force you to have a longer attention span, it allows you to relate with all these characters. It holds a mirror. Like when you're reading, it's holding a mirror to yourself. You see yourself in certain characters and you be like, oh, is this how I behave? It checks you. Like people that my mom used to call some people Ezinwa, that's you can't tell me anything. If you sit down with a book, you will be forced to reckon with your own flaws, because you can see them in someone else and you don't like them. And you don't like seeing that this person has this comma and me too, I have it, I have to fix that. So it's a mirror. Basically, all great literature are mirrors that show you back your reflection as it is. And that, I think that's the work of books.
Okay, so let's look at reading culture among young people.
Yes.
Right? Because today, many young people spend more time on social media.
Yes.
We are there. There is nothing happening on social media that we are not aware of. Anyone we are not aware of, maybe it happened while we are asleep. And our sleep is maybe 2 to 3 hours. Okay? So, because of that, we don't read. Do you know what I was saying? I was telling a group of people, and I said, I post something on Facebook with a picture, and I'm getting 100 likes, 1,000 likes, comments few. I post just a write-up, and I'm not getting any like. I'm not getting comments either. And I had to write. Anytime I drop something, I write it. Please don't just like drop a comment. Like, I have to keep saying it, even when the things are funny. And I said one day, I said, I'm going to post a picture of me maybe naked. And I know if I do, which I'm not going to do, right? Because but I know the kind of comments I'm going to get.
Massive traction.
Like my social media handle will just move, skyrocket.
Okay.
But I'm not going to do that.
Yes.
Okay, so why do you think that the reading culture is declining among young people? And how can we revive it? How can we make young people see that, just like you said, when you read, you become emotionally aware of a lot of things. Your mental health is taken care of. There are things that ordinarily you don't need to go and tell somebody, but because you have read, even when you're telling the person, you already have an idea. You already have a solution, but you just need a confirmation of that thing you have in your head. So how do we do that?
I think the curse of social media is that we are paying, it's like a trade, we're paying back in our attention span. Our attention span goes like lower and lower and lower by the day. I recently got a social media gig for the bookstore I work with, Tiny Dot Bookstores, and I noticed that anytime I want to make a post, I will derail and I'll start scrolling, they call it doom scrolling. And I had to catch myself, because I will find that when it's time for me to pick up a book, I will stay like 30 minutes and go back to social media and see what is happening, then go back. I think that is the price we are paying for spending insane amounts of time on social media, and it shouldn't be that way. I think we need to make reading cool again, and that is happening in pockets of social media, book talk, bookstagram. You see influencers that are talking about books they read, how it changed their perspective and all of that. They're doing such a great job. But I think more can be done, not just by influencers, but by people's parents, by people's teachers, by people's uncles, aunties, your benefactors, people you work with, your colleagues. There's some people that you pick up a book around and you'll be like, you remember when I read book? You don't take like 10 years. It will be like a thing of pride. It's not great. It honestly is not great. We make that thing like sound like, oh, adulthood is taking us. No, it is in adulthood that we should have time to pick up a book. It is in adulthood. If you didn't do that as a child, find a book. If non-fiction is not your style, pick up fiction. If fiction is not your style, try poetry. If poetry is not your style, pick up a memoir from somebody you admire. Everything has something for everybody. Every book has something for everybody.
Okay, you've shared your story as regards to you reading a book by Miles Morrow. So basically, books often leave lasting impressions on. It left an impression on your life. It also lives in people's lives. So has there been any book apart from the one you've shared with us, the Miles Morrow book, or change your mindset, and what lessons did you learn from it? I think that would go down to help a lot of young people, a lot of people who possibly they see reading as disturbance, waste of time. You can go to Facebook, just glance through. You can do something I do. I just read the first paragraph, read the last paragraph, then get another, then go back to the middle. I do that. I don't know if it is okay, but that's what I do. So can you share that with us?
I think I will pick a very recent book I read. It's by Khalid Husseini. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. By Khalid Husseini, and it is about two women who grew up in Afghanistan during it's still a war-torn area. It's not as if it has really changed, but the way he wrote the story, it showed me like how much war affects a country, and how the effects of war never really go away. They lost their family, they lost their loved ones, and they also suffered this thing about the child marriage and stuff. So they married her off at, I think, 11 or 12.
So basically, it's not what happens in it also happens. So it's not that it started with us.
No, it did not. So I think it was so beautifully portrayed that I found myself tearing up around the end of the book. I think that book is just It's just something. And this particular writer focuses on Afghanistan, on that country, on people's experiences, children, adults, how war has, done things to their life. And what it brought me to is it circled me back to our country, the Biafran War, how things went and how it has changed us in certain ways. I had a conversation with someone after the book, and I was like, we claim that we have moved past this thing, but we have not really moved past it. Most of our Igbo parents, they will not give you the time of day to go into like an artsy something or a creative something, because they know how much they lost. They cannot afford to lose something like that. You cannot afford to go and do liberal arts when you can go and do trade, or when you can go and do medicine, or when you can go and do something that is assured to give you financial independence or financial freedom. And the way we came back to ourselves after the war, it's something. It's something, and it's still affecting us, maybe not physically but psychologically, because our parents are carrying it like from parent to parent, from parent to parent, and we will also carry it. Some of us, because some of us don't read, we will carry it to our children also and be like, no, you are not going to be creative, you're going to do this, because at some point what will happen, you have everything taken from you have nothing. And reading helped me like see that side of life, and I was like, oh wow, interesting.
Okay, so can you tell us about where you work, what you do basically, and the fact that you work in a bookstore?
Yes.
And working in a bookstore, how? Like, do you know the books there and all that?
Most likely, I think more than half of the books here, I'm aware of more than half of the books. Not that I've read more than half of the books we have. We try to like broaden our range when we're shopping for books. But working at tiny little bookstores is just such an amazing experience, because it's very new for me, and I was going into it with blind faith, and I was like, God, I want to see what value I'm giving to this space. And we are going into something much bigger than a bookstore. We are going into something that I think the world will see in time. And I do social media. I do media in general. I am here. I do media in general. I handle our accounts. I all these things, and I make sure that we put our best foot forward, both locally and internationally. Yes, that's what I do.
Okay, can you share your handles?
Yes, you can follow me at Dera Faithful on Instagram. You can follow me at Dera Faithful Twitter, that's X. I'm on Facebook as Faithful Chinedu, and that's true. I also have a Substack blog called Lady Orderly, and Orderly is OTHERLY. Yes. Okay,
then for Tiny Dot?
For Tiny Dot bookstores everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, follow us everywhere. We post all kinds of books. We also take orders. So if you have a book and you don't know where to get it, you send it to us, we find it for you, we buy it for you.
Okay. Yes. So on a final note, what would be your advice to everyone who is watching, young people, adults, children, parents who are listening and who are watching, and they're saying, oh, so books are important? I thought it's just you read and you pass an exam. Your textbooks, must I go and look for other books to read? So what would be your advice to them? You can speak into the camera.
Okay, I remember a saying that someone said, I've read many books, I don't remember what is in it, but I cannot forget how I feel. I think books are an invisible hand. They're an invisible hand, and they make changes in people's lives. We need to put so much importance on mental growth. This is a mental health awareness month, by the way. We need to put so much awareness on mental growth. You're reading books not just because you want to appear wise. You're reading books because you want to grow. And if you have value for yourself, you're going to get more books and continue growing your mind. And that is my advice for adults, children, old people, everybody in general.
All right, thank you so much, Faithful, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
One of the things I took note from everything we've had today is books are powerful tools for mental growth.
Yes.
And reading actually helps us gain knowledge, improve imagination, develop confidence, build communication skills, because of course if we don't read, we'll not be seated here, we'll not be able to communicate. And it could strengthen critical thinking. You could understand people and the society better. So when people act in certain way, you'll be able to say, I know how to deal with you. So you won't even exchange words with that person. Instead, you take it slow and steady. So, and a person who reads regularly develops mentally, emotionally, and intellectually. So if you're one that wants to develop yourself in terms of your mental health, your mental growth, you want to develop emotionally, you want to develop intellectually, you need to read. And when I talk about read, I say read books, good books. Don't go and read one book that when you are sleeping the night be dreaming. Read good books, okay? So it's been truly a very insightful and inspiring session today, having Miss Faithful joining me today. It's been very, very interesting, and we talked about the role of books in mental growth. I want to say thank you once again to Faithful Chidera Chinedu for sharing your valuable thoughts and experiences with us.
Thank you.
It's been wonderful. And to our viewers, remember that readers are leaders, and every book you read adds value to your mind. Okay? So thank you so much. My name is Lilian. Ezinwa. Thank you so much for watching Reading Room of Freedom Square TV. Thanks to my cameraman, Victor Okolie, aka V-Boots, for ensuring that you watch us live. Thank you so much, and do have a wonderful and blessed day. Bye.